Writer and arts trailblazer Lin Arison spent years traveling the globe with her late husband, Carnival Cruise Line's founder, Ted Arison. It was after his death that she began to tap into her own talents as an author.
I had columns, but I never took that seriously. I didn't think of myself as a writer. But when I went to Israel and didn't have the language, didn't have my family or my friends or my work or anything, I was desperate, and I didn't know what I was, going to be able to do to manage and to feel okay. And I ended up by starting to explore, which was my nature anyway, and I began discovering stories. And I said, I have to tell everybody about this. Nobody knows about this. And so I started writing, and it was first articles, and it ended up as a book.
In her first book, A Love Story in Mediterranean Israel, Lin Arison chronicled her adventures and personal experiences in that country. Her second book, Travels with Van Gogh and the Impressionists, centered on the artists who impacted and helped heal her life after the death of her husband. Her new book, Feast for the Senses, which she co-wrote with Diana Stahl, is about her travels through parts of Italy with artistic director Michael Tilson Thomas and musicians from the New World Symphony, which she and her husband founded over 25 years ago.
So what it really was a happenstance. It wasn't anything that was planned. I was going to do an innocent, straight travel book about Umbria. I had chosen Umbria because it hadn't been done to death like Tuscany.
What began as a travel book about Umbria became something quite different. Feast for the Senses invites readers to journey with Lin Arison and a group of New World Symphony musicians as they play and perform in ancient churches, on top of hills, and other enchanting settings throughout Umbria.
People would pick it up as a travel book and then wend their way through Umbria, end up at the Curie building in the park, and perhaps fall in love with classical music, because that's who this book is for. People that would never pick up a book on music.
Israeli photographer Neil Folberg was an integral part of the project. It was his job to integrate the experiences of the musicians into photographs.
We sat down with this group of musicians that we had very carefully chosen, and the first time, and I told them what we were going to do and where we were going to do it. And I can remember them looking at me with kind of a look of wonder and disbelief, like, is this, really, this isn't what we're used to doing. But it sounded like so much fun, and that's what happened. I think everybody got into the process. It was a growth experience for everybody who was involved.
It's easy to see that a great deal of planning and preparation went into this Umbrian adventure. What Lin Arison and the others didn't plan for was that this experience would deeply affect the musicians' lives.
It definitely changed as a person. It was about, the simple things in life that are really fulfilling. A lot of times we were in the smaller towns, and you could just really enjoy, nature and food. The most amazing food was always the food with the least amount of ingredients. And so, the trip for me was not about anything material. It was just about kind of experiencing life and really, taking a moment, not moving too fast.
When you start as a musician, you focus on your instrument. Then you start focusing on music. And I think that later on, you start focusing more on art. It was a big step for me, understanding art in general and the place of art in history.